Hi, this is Kat again. I'm adding to, I just made a little video on iPhone tips, but while I was washing my car, I had all these little flashes of days gone by, and when I did my paralegal office and when I had my own business, and I had worked for lawyers for a number of years, regular downtown lawyers with the big firms, and I had done that for a couple of years with different lawyers, and I went independent, working independently for lawyers where they would call me in, and I had trained staffs how to do things. I would show their paralegals or secretaries how to do things, and I would teach at the military bases on divorce law so that the JAG lawyers would know. But one of the things that I discovered when I did a lot of office organizations, I would travel island wide and organize people's offices. And one of the things I discovered with lawyers, and I'm saying this so that if you have a case, or if you need a lawyer, or you currently have a lawyer, some of the things that you should be aware of. And one of the first things I would do when I would go into a lawyer's office and either start working for them independently or go in there to clean up their office is I would ask if I could look at their cases to just see what the nature of the cause of action was, and then the date it happened, and then I wanted to make sure that they were well within the statute of limitations. Statute of limitations is different for particular crimes or civil actions. You only have so much time that you can file that cause. This is why an awful lot of times you'll see people, nothing happens on an automobile accident. And then just when you think, oh gee, it's been like a year or 2 years, whatever, every state's a little different, so you have to know what your state statutes are on their statute of limitations. But that's why you'll see a complaint filed, because it'll just be maybe a day or so before the statute of limitations. Because if you wait past that statute, you have no recourse. It's gone. It doesn't matter how important and justified and how you would have gotten a guilty verdict or you would have won a civil case. If you miss the statute of limitations, your case is dismissed automatically. They won't even let you, really file it. But it'll be dismissed. It'll be the first thing that the other side will go, motion to dismiss past the statute of limitations. And that's what most defense lawyers are kind of hoping, that people miss those dates. What I discovered is when I would go into a lot of the lawyers' offices to help organize it, is one particular woman's office I had gone into is that she had like 6 or 8 cases. I think it was like definitely six cases that were past the statute of limitations. And these were people that thought they were being represented, that their attorney was on their side, that their attorney was working. And one of the things that I discovered that attorneys do is they just bold-faced lie. Some of them, not everybody. There's some good attorneys. And so I'm not bad-mouthing every attorney. But what I discovered is, what they do is, excuse me, they say, after further looking at your case and all this, nothing checked out, you'd never be able to win, the cost would be so expensive, it'd be not worth that. I can't put my time in, because it's not a particular case that this, that it would cost you so much and all that. And it's usually gobbledygook, because they've already killed your case. So if you have a lawyer on any case, when you go into talk to them about whether it's an automobile accident or breach of contract or anything like that, the first thing you need to do is ask, what's the statute of limitations on this cause of action? Say those words. No, what? Okay, so that's one thing that you should really look at, because the other thing is that, so they file the complaint and then it goes on, but then from that point another clock starts to tick. And they have to have like a pretrial statement, meaning you send something to the judge and you say what you're going to do and all this kind of stuff. That needs to be done. There's a clockwork for that, and that's set out by court rules and all that. So once you go from the state statute as far as with the cause of action and the time limits and all that for when to file, then you start going on to your court rules as to when you need to start getting all these things done. And I discovered that many lawyers who even got the statute of limitations filed in the correct amount of time didn't file their pretrial statements. So therefore, the case would be dismissed because of that. So you need to really follow up and ask them, okay, so once we file the cause of, the complaint, and we've served them, you have to serve them too, is that when's the next thing that needs to be done? What's the time limit on that? So that you stay a little active in your case. The other thing I want to talk about is if someone files a complaint against you, you are a number of people. You have to look at one responding. The worst thing that I find that people can do is not respond. You think, well, I'm the sixth one down. It's not going to matter. I'll tell you a case what happened. It was a case that filed against a whole contractor because faulty design in the house, the architect and the labor and all that. And so they filed. But and you'll see that people will file against everybody. They filed this lawsuit against the contractors, subcontractors, everybody, and even this one little young guy who just went to work on it for a couple of days. Well, he figured that because everybody else would be, with their fancy lawyers and everything, would respond that somehow he would be protected or taken care of. And he just, well, I don't know anything about this, and I'm the last one named, and so it's not important. So he didn't do anything. And while the others all got fancy lawyers, he got a default, and he got charged with a large sum of money. So that's another thing to be aware of. You do have to look at responding and not having a default taken against you. I've seen defaults taken against people in divorces. My brother, foolishly, when he got divorced, he just figured, I don't care what she wants. She's not going to get a dime out of me. So when she filed, she asked for alimony and child support, and alimony for the rest of her life. Okay? And even though they'd only been married like 4 years, if she had gone to court, the likelihood of any judge ever granting that would have been unheard of. But because he didn't respond, she got a motion for default marriage. And that haunted him for his whole life, because it started building and building and building and building, and he was in the, thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm not giving you legal advice. I have to be careful of that. I don't want to be prosecuted for the practice of law. I'm providing you legal information, and it's up to you to whether you want that information or not. But that's just some information to have if you're getting a lawyer, have a lawyer, or you get served with a complaint of any kind. Okay.